Hello everyone, so I wanted to do a really brief video on this. I've been playing Dread again, and a little bit after the tournament, I was setting up on some VODs, I watched a JP Bucket player, and I noticed something about Reefslider that they were doing that actually was pretty cool, and I don't think it's super well known, so I'm going to show it off here. So, normally, jumping out of slider is an option you see sometimes, especially because of cooler QSJ, which normally looks something like this. You slider, you blow up, and then you try and jump out right then after that. And it turns out the better way to do it is just that you could buffer it in general. So you can slider, and then as soon as you press ZR, it's ZL, down, and A. Or whatever direction you want to input. And you can actually open the map and start mashing the jump out button before you even explode, and it won't interrupt it, obviously. So that means you should be able to get your Reefslider jump out to be frame 1. And you hold ZL because jumping out is slightly faster in squid form. So you're holding ZL, you're gonna press ZR, and as soon as you press ZR, press X, L, or ZL, down, and A. It sounds like a lot of inputs, but it's not too bad. And with that, you can basically use it alongside Tacticooler to be able to jump out of Reefslider whenever possible, which is pretty cool. I don't know if this really counts as a technically. And you can also, what I've seen people do sometimes is you can just input your jump and everything on the map before you even blow up the slider, but then it's a little bit hard to aim. The only downside of this is that because you're trying to input the Reefslider before you actually explode, you can't really change your mind. That's probably the easiest way to mess it up. Like, you could go for a slider and end up being able to get, like, a damage combo if you're something like an S-Blast or a Dread or whatever, but ended up inputting jump early already, so can't really do anything about it. So, yeah, I guess that's worth noting. There is one thing that I would say is an actual tech, though, I want to show off, though. So, this next one is nothing new, really. It's been known for a bit. In fact, I did this a little bit on VS Blast in a video. Like, that's how old this has been known from. But I figure I'd still talk about it anyway while I'm covering slider knowledge anyway. So you might notice there's gaps like this that slider can't really clear. Kind of just falls off there. There is actually a way to clear gaps that are just a tiny bit too large for Reefslider to be able to clear normally. If I can get back there. I'll do it from the same way just to show it off. But when Reefslider is exploding, you do a little slide. And that actually allows you to go over jumps like this, which is pretty cool. I mean, obviously the downside is you're still exploding right when you go across. But the good news is the rails will always show that you don't make it. So anyone who doesn't know this tech is probably going to see you falling down and go like, oh good, I can punish that, and try to swim up to the ledge to shoot you, putting them right here into the explosion. So there are some spots to learn for this. I'll showcase one more that I think is really important real quick. So probably the best spot I've seen is right here on Mako Tower, where you can use it to cross the gap if I don't hit the wall. Anyway, if you don't hit the wall, you just slide right across this gap here. You even clear this little wall if you do it well enough, which means your explosion's gonna hit people who are, like, hiding back here, which is normally what ruins this spot. If people know about it, they'll, like, hide back here. Of course, they can still stand up here, stuff like that, but anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. But, yeah, that's just two things about slider that I think are important and improve the special quite a bit. Especially the first one was something I personally didn't know. It seems kind of obvious in hindsight, but buffering the jump input is still very, very helpful, especially if you play with cooler. That's going to save your life quite a lot, so I think it is worth knowing. Alright, that's it.